On the calendar, December 8th may seem like just another day. But history has carved it into our collective memory with moments that reshaped the world. It's a day of declarations, of reckonings, and of voices that still echo through the corridors of time. The morning after a sky filled with fire, December 8, 1941, the United States stood at the threshold of war. The attack on Pearl Harbor had occurred barely 24 hours earlier. The Pacific was still smoldering. Across the nation, grief transformed into resolve. On this day, President Roosevelt delivered a speech that would galvanize a country, a request for a declaration of war against Japan. In the hushed chamber of Congress, the decision was swift. America's entry into the Second World War would unleash a cascade of events from the battlefields of Europe to the islands of the Pacific, altering the trajectory of global politics for generations. What's remarkable about December 8, 1941, is not simply the speed of the declaration, but its scale. Overnight, the geopolitical balance shifted. The United States became not just a participant, but a leader of the Allied effort. It marked the beginning of the end for American isolationism. Though Albert Einstein's famous letter to Roosevelt, warning of Nazi Germany as interest in atomic research, had been sent 2 years earlier, its implications would converge with December 8 in unexpected ways. In 1941, as war widened, laboratories in the United States accelerated the very research that Einstein had urged in his correspondence. The Manhattan Project was not yet public knowledge, but the seeds planted by that warning were now taking root. December 8th stands at the nexus of conventional war and the shadow of nuclear possibility. The urgency created by Pearl Harbor fed directly into the acceleration of atomic research. The moral questions Einstein raised about science, responsibility, and political decision-making remain just as urgent today. History is more than battles and speeches. It's shaped by the lives begun and ended on its pages. December 8, 1980, saw the tragic death of a cultural icon, John Lennon, a moment that shook the global music community and reminded the world of art as vulnerability to violence. The resonance of his life's work and the abruptness of its silencing remain part of the day's collective memory. Earlier in history, December 8th marked the birth of Diego Rivera in 1886, a Mexican painter whose murals told the story of social struggle in colors as bold as any manifesto. His art, like the events of this day, sought to challenge, to awaken, and to record. The threads of December 8th are varied, political, scientific, and cultural. Yet each event deepens the texture of the day, reinforcing that history's weight is not measured in one dimension alone. From the war declarations in Washington to the quiet studios where art was born, December 8th invites reflection on how swiftly the ordinary can turn extraordinary and how the extraordinary can alter our ordinary forever. Pearl Harbor's aftermath is a reminder of how vulnerability can unite a nation. Einstein's warning reminds us of the peril entwined with progress. The loss of a voice like Lennon's urges us to cherish what inspires unity and empathy. When we examine a single date across decades, we see patterns, moments where the local becomes global in an instant. December 8th is a case study in this transformation, bearing lessons on preparedness, moral responsibility, and the fragility of peace. This date is not merely a point on a timeline. It is a reminder that history lives not in the past alone, but in the decisions, warnings, and inspirations that ripple forward. It is a day that teaches us if we choose to listen. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey through time meaningful, please consider subscribing for more stories from history.